welcome to another exciting episode of Trendz Travel. I am your host, Nadia Dambuza. Today, I'm coming to you from the magnificent Palace of the Lost City. We kick off this show with one of Joburg's premier event, the colorful Sansui Summer Cup. Stay with us. Coming up next on Trendz Travel this week, we went to the fabulous horse racing event, the Sansui Summer Cup. Algerians danced the night away at an international jazz festival. We visit the home of the curious in Maboneng. And finally, the Belgians enjoy beer. All this coming up on today's Trendz Travel. Not many know this, but the City of Gold plays host to the longest-running and most respected first-grade horse racing events. The annual event made its way to its old stomping ground, the Turffontein Race Course, where spectators and enthusiasts alike were treated to 12 races that ran throughout the day and well into the night.
It's another beautiful summer's day out and about in Johannesburg, and Trendz travelers, we are at the Turffontein Race Course, soaking in some sun, horses, and great fashion.
While horse racing is the main attraction to the sporting event, attendees also look forward to dressing up and passing the day mingling with a vast array of fashionistas and trendsetters. The Summer Cup is almost as old as Johannesburg itself, with the inaugural event taking place in 1887. A year after the dusting mining camp that would become Johannesburg sprang to life in an old farm called Turffontein.
Turffontein horse racing has been one of the oldest horse racing that has been taking place. The coming in of the Gauteng tourism and the Gauteng government into partnership with Sansui was that of boosting it in terms of making sure that it becomes the real lifestyle event, because we are prominently saying that Gauteng is a place for lifestyle. You come to fashion, it's Gauteng, shopping, it's Gauteng. You're talking about motor racing, you find us there in Gauteng. So in our endeavor to grow Gauteng into many other sorts of events, we have looked at this event and said, how best can we market this event in order to bring as many people as possible before they go on their break of the December holidays.
Look, it's absolutely awesome. It was a lovely day. I think the more we do events like these, we start to showcase and profile our beautiful country. We need more people visiting our country. We need more people spending time, sleeping in hotels, going to restaurants. And by doing that, you start to trigger other sectors, construction, retail, etc., basically. And this is the start of many such events as you get people to kind of move towards that side. The other part of it is it also promotes domestic tourism. How do you get more people from other provinces to travel basically to the space? And that works out quite well in that regard.
In between trips to the betting stations, the elegant Isarush Summer Garden kept revelers entertained and well hydrated. Some won and some lost, but altogether a great day at the races.
A day at the horses is finally complete, and I think I might have won a race or two. It's time for us to kick off our heels and get down. So cameramen, switch off those cameras.
It's one of the most visited holiday destinations in South Africa. Set on the edge of the world-famous Gary Player golf course, this is Sun City Resort. Since opening its doors for business 36 years ago, the Pleasure Palace has had numerous facelifts. The latest being a 1 billion rand refurbishment to ensure that all vacation lovers have an unforgettable stay. This facelift has set its sights on growing the popularity to increase Sun City's share of the growing conventions business in South Africa. The resort has attracted more than 300,000 visitors in just a year after its opening in 1979.
We're excited to carry on the illustrious history with the current revitalisation of one of Africa's most loved resorts. Over the years, Sun City has been recognised as a resort that offers something for everyone, from our renowned hotels to the man-made beach in the middle of the volcanic crater. Today, we celebrate the revitalised Valley of the Waves, which you experienced earlier. This is the first major transformation it has had since its opening in 1992. You would have seen the two new slides, namely Uvonga and Noble's Descent, as well as the fun-styled beach dining with the opening of the food factory and Brew Monkey. The 3-star Cabana Hotel where we're at tonight has been reimagined as a contemporary island-style accommodation offering a base for guests to explore the resort.
With the rebranding, what we're really looking to do is to add value to people in terms of their stay. We obviously look for them to have experience, and it's a very experiential aspect that we've brought to the resort in terms of the rebranding. And it's about people having fond memories and enjoying themselves and going back with anecdotes about their stay on the resort.
So Trendz Travel set its sight to see what the newly refurbished Pleasure Palace has to offer. The exploration began at the Brew Monkey, a gastropub situated above the new fast food arena at the Valley of Waves. A cool spot that offers spectacular views over the tidal pool with a wide menu selection and specializes in hand-picked craft beers.
We saw a massive need in the Valley of the Waves. Traditionally, before Sun International insourced food and beverage, we had concessionaires that would put up little stands and they would sell drinks and food, and the pricing wasn't, the value proposition for the guest wasn't there, the offering wasn't, the variety wasn't big enough. Ultimately, capacity in the Valley of the Waves is 13,000 people on a busy weekend, and Sun City is fully booked until February already for every weekend. So we saw the need to open up downstairs, which is called Food Factory.
The upmarket restaurant below the 5-star Cascades Hotel pays homage to the traditions of the Mediterranean, serving a wide range of classic and contemporary dishes. In the 80s and 90s, the resort played host to a large amount of entertainers and sportsmen, which brought visitors out in numbers to see their heroes perform. With well-known musicians who go by the likes of Queen, Grace Jones, Frank Sinatra, Joe Cocker, Elton John, Leo Slayer, Sting, Tina Turner, Dolly Parton, Rod Stewart, Cher, George Benson, Mariah Carey, and Michael Jackson, and many more have graced the performing stages here. Part of the rejuvenation of this iconic destination is to pay homage to those who gave it glitz and glamour through this 150-seater upmarket grill house at the Soho.
So basically, this is what we're doing with regards to legends. Yeah, we're a steakhouse, like a grill house, upmarket grill house. The plate that I'm about to plate now is called the meat platter, and that's what we do best. We do grass and grain-fed meats. Right, which is either wet age or dry age. If you look behind you over there, we've got a meat locker. We do a couple of specialty dishes, which is, lamb, range from lamb to salmon. But majority of what is served throughout the evening, and hopefully as long as we're in existence, is our meats.
The resort is a destination that offers something for everyone with a wide variety of accommodation. The renewal of the Cabana Hotel to a trendy island-style atmosphere situated in a perfect setting close to the Water World Lake is certainly an upgrade for all to enjoy.
The cabanas hadn't been refurbished for some time, and last year there was a decision taken to revitalize the cabanas. So essentially it went through an extensive refurbishment, and we aligned the refurbishment to a new contemporary and an exciting and trendy look and feel. In essence, the cabanas lends itself to an island-style kind of proposition, and with the lake in the background, the beach down overlooking the lake, the swimming pool. You know, it lends itself. The environment lends itself to encapsulating people's hearts and minds, particularly young families and young adults.
The transformation of the Valley of Waves is for the adventure seekers. The water park has added 2 new slides just in time for you to enjoy this festive season. The Avango and Noble's Descent are 2 of the latest slides, bringing the number of exciting slides at the Valley of Waves to 7.
Why are you suggesting I go do it? It's super fun. They haven't lived until we've done it.
Okay, but what's so fun about going through some dark thing?
It's not even dark. That's what everybody thinks it is. It's not dark. See that bright color?
Which bright
You feel like the sun is almost shining on you. So it's not dark at all.
So you've seen the light before you die?
Child! You better try it.
Okay, fine. We'll go try it. Let's go. This slide takes riders with an inflatable raft through a dark portion that gradually brings in light to the tube, flowing into the boomerang section. This 17-meter capsule sliding at 40 meters per hour is one that I had no choice but to check off my bucket list. It plummets straight down and sweeps you upwards into a vertical loop, then down into the splashdown lane.
Don't do it. I'm joking. It's a good one. Do it. Oh, wow. She was screaming all the time. It took an hour to convince her to do it. Don't lie.
It wasn't an hour, I swear. It was just like probably like 10 minutes or something.
An hour. I won't do it again. No thanks.
Oh yeah, you know, she was out taking a couple of pictures just to keep you updated. You know, our Twitter handle is @Trendz on SABC, so go there to check out what we're doing. They've added 2 new slides, and we've been on a couple, and it's been hella crazy, so I hope you enjoy it.
With regards to tourism at this stage, the first place people look to is places where they can go with partners or family, and that was basically the start. Well, naturally, people go to clubs when they've finished dinner or they've finished having drinks and they finish socializing and they feel like having a great dance. Therefore, the name Encore came. There is a big encore, and that's what it's all about. It's about finishing off your experience at Sun City for the day, and basically, it's no better place to do it than at Encore. There's dancing, there's a VIP area, we have a DJ on all the time, and I think that all elements of Sun City that we've basically have put together all holistically give us a city within a city.
After the break, we go to Algeria for some soulful sounds.
Attendees at the Dima Jazz International Jazz Festival in the Algeria's Constantine danced the night away as they were treated to performances by musicians from around the world. The 14th edition of the festival is the biggest so far, with around 3,000 music lovers attending on each night of the 6-day-long event. The Celtic Social Club opened the festival, while Cairo Jazz Station, a band who play a collaboration of jazz and contemporary Middle Eastern music, played on day 2. Among the other international performers was American soul singer Martha High, who had the audience on their feet throughout her performance.
The jazz festival is great. I mean, it's, you know, like I said, the people they made me feel that they enjoyed the show as well as I did. So it was great, you know, and I'm very excited to be a part of the Jazz Festival in Constantine.
Other performances at the event included the lively jazz set by British musician Courtney Pine, as well as bands playing Algeria's Berber music. Many of the audiences were Dima Jazz regulars who were full of praise of this year's show.
Très bon moment, oui. Ah oui, chaque année, c'est la même chose et chaque année, on est très heureux de revoir toujours le Dima Jazz, et toujours à Constantine. Hein.
Très bien amusé, c'était vraiment sympa, c'était varié, c'était sympa, on s'est bien amusé.
Que représente pour vous le Dima Jazz?
Le Dima Jazz, c'est des retrouvailles de chaque année, d'un spectacle inoubliable en tout cas. Merci.
The festival organizers say Dima Jazz is going from strength to strength. It was created in 2003 by 4 friends and jazz enthusiasts, but has since grown into a regular feature on the international jazz calendar.
ديما جاز هو التقاء لشباب مدينة كونوا أسسوا لهذا المهرجان منذ 14 سنة. بدينا في قليل، الآن رانا في 3000 متفرج كل يوم. نظن أن هذا الحلم اللي بديناه تحقق الآن باش نفوتوا إلى الأكثر احترافية، باش نكونوا نموذج لشباب باش يعمل وباش يأمن في نفسه، باش نقدروا نأسسوا لمهرجانات ولا لمشاريع مستقبلية.
The Dima Jazz Festival is one of the 150 official festivals subsidized by the Algerian Ministry of Culture. Constantine, situated 400 kilometers east of the capital Algiers, is known for its arts and culture.
I really enjoyed Dima Jazz. I was treated so well. The audience were great. The people were great. I had a fantastic time. I wish I could come back and see some more shows. Merci beaucoup.
United Nations World Heritage Center, UNESCO, has previously recognized the importance of jazz in Constantine. A province in Thailand famous for its monkey population laid out an annual food buffet to thank the monkeys for bringing in tourists and helping the local economy. The event in Lubori province, also known as the Monkey Province, is for the thousands of crab-eating makagis, also known as long-tailed monkeys, which live there. The monkeys have the run of the town, climbing over buildings and onto visitors. Most are harmless, but some apparently like to nip.
No, sometimes just like a little bit, because one bite me yesterday, so that was, I was surprised, but I guess it was just a bit one that was less kind, but the other was like really kind and friendly, so yeah, they're fun, but I guess you still need to be a bit careful.
This year's buffet went ahead even though Thailand is in mourning for the revered king who passed away in October. Organizers said the event was toned down as a sign of respect during the one-year mourning period.
ปีนี้คล้ายๆว่าเรามีการในหลวงเสียนะฮะสวรรคตเราก็จะทำแบบพอเพียงแต่ว่าเราหยุดไม่ได้ฮะเพราะว่ามันทำมา27 ปีแล้วก็เลยปีที่28นี่เราก็ทำแบบพอเพียงแล้วก็จัดอย่างที่เห็นเนี่ยก็ลิงปีนี้จะลงมากกว่าปีที่แล้วด้วยเราก็เลยคิดว่าถ้าแบบพอเพียงเนี่ยไม่เกินเลยมากเราก็ตัดเอารถตู้เนี่ยมาตัด3 คันแล้วก็เดลิเวอรี่ให้ถึงที่แล้วทีนี้
There are approximately 3,000 monkeys in the city area of Laburi. Event organizers say there are about 7,000 more scattered around the province.
The skyline of India's city of Taj Mahal, Agra, resembled a rainbow as the hot air balloon festival kicked off amid much fanfare. Tourists from India and abroad thronged the city to witness the 6-day festival. Expert balloonists from 15 countries, including those from the United States, Netherlands, Malaysia and Switzerland, are participating in the event, which has been organized by the Tourism Department of the northern state of Uttar Pradesh.
फेस्टिवल का उद्देश्य देश विदेश के पर्यटकों को आगरा आने के लिए आकर्षित करना है और आगरा में जो पर्यटक हैं यहाँ पर उन्हें एक नया आकर्षण उपलब्ध कराना है। आप जैसा कि इसमें देख रहे हैं आसपास बहुत सारे रंग बिरंगे बलून आपको दिखाई दे रहे हैं, हॉट एयर बलून्स। इनमें बैठकर ऊंचाई से पूरे आगरा को देखने का एक बहुत सुंदर अवसर है सभी के पास। कितने बलून हैं? 15 बलून हैं जो सभी उड़ रहे हैं और ये विभिन्न देशों से आए हुए हैं, इंग्लैंड, अमेरिका और बहुत सारे अन्य देशों से भी आए हुए हैं।
I think this is a nice idea for tourists, for people who are interested in India to just come to see that this is happening. So it's really nice.
This year, the State Tourism Department has also started a lucky draw wherein 40 flying enthusiasts every day will get a chance to get a free 1-hour aerial ride during the festival. Visitors said the festival was a great idea to attract tourists. The festival aims to promote tourism in the state through adventure and aviation-based activities.
Much more excitement for you coming up just after the break, so don't go anywhere. In this next segment, we look at an exhibition by a Zimbabwean-born artist regarding his observations on the complexities occurring due to the African diaspora. Enjoy.
Agog, home of the curious, with Middle English and Old French origins, refers to a state of extreme excitement, wonder, anticipation, interest, or expectancy. The Agog is home of the sector of our civilization now referred to as the curious. Perfectly situated in Maboneng, Johannesburg, the Agog is the perfect spot to relax and appreciate fine arts. We went to an exhibition by a Zimbabwean-born artist, Ronald Muchachita. His artworks are fueled by deep spirituality. He struggled to put his thoughts down on paper with words, so he chose the paintbrush and charcoal instead.
First of all, welcome to Agog Gallery. We are a modern contemporary art gallery and we are currently focusing on African art. So it's mainly focusing on African contemporary art actually. So right now exhibiting on the first floor of our gallery is Ronald Muchachita. So Ronald is a Zimbabwean artist who is currently based in Cape Town. Ronald's works that we're exhibiting right now are mainly focused on migration and the condition of being in a foreign land, as he's a Zimbabwean artist living in South Africa. So he also has dialogue on the current position that Zimbabwe is in, and he explores that through his art. Right here we have a piece called Struggle for Zimbabwe. So basically this piece of work is on the previous struggle for Zimbabwe, the Zimbabwean nation itself, and the current struggle for Zimbabwe. So basically, I'm sure you are aware of the fact that Zimbabwe got its independence in 1980 after the liberation struggle. So basically now, when you look at this piece of work, it has reference to the Lancaster House Agreement that is on there. And if you see here, there's this dragon feature that's in this art piece. So the dragon itself represents an imminent evil that's in the country. So the imminent evil itself, I'm sure you can see right there. We have, a sort of like an abstract picture of Robert Mugabe himself as part of the drawing. So he's the main evil being, spoken about in the piece. And you'll see that it's clutching onto this figure of a bird. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Zimbabwean flag. The Zimbabwean flag has a Zimbabwean bird, so basically this is it. So the dragon itself is clutching onto it, showing that it's threatening Zimbabwe's identity itself. Because looking at what the country was after independence was attained and what it is right now, it's in a position whereby there's a lot of suffering, there's a lot of struggle because of decisions made by the current ruling parties. So getting back to the art piece itself, you'll see that the dragon's tail actually leads to Josiah Tongogara. So Josiah Tongogara was supposed to take ownership of the country itself and had potential of becoming a leader in Zimbabwe. But as you see, the tail leads to him, and he was killed just before independence. And you can just see what it implies with the whole thing. So basically, right now there is an uprising that is going on in Zimbabwe by the youths. As you'll see these unsightly hands there that are in protest. These are actually strategically positioned on the piece, which is on where it says Mugabe takes over, and the pages of the book are actually the pages from the book itself that's called Struggle for Zimbabwe. So there's also this vintage camera that's here. This represents also the media and the role that the media is taking in also helping spread the word that people need to stand up for their rights and stand up for what they believe in. The clock right here represents time and the fact that only time will tell what will come of Zimbabwe, and only the Zimbabweans themselves have the power to change things. Hence you'll see here the hands on either side. Even at the top there you see the hands, because only the Zimbabweans themselves can write their future. To begin with this piece right here, first of all, were you aware of the fact that 80% of Nigerian women who actually go to Europe eventually become prostitutes? So basically, this is what this piece is talking about, because these women go there without an actual plan, and eventually they get into prostitution because it's the easiest way they can actually make money. So with these pieces and most of the other pieces that I'm going to show you, there's a theme that's going on throughout, which I'm sure you'll notice. You see these lines that are coming down, the red, the blue, and the white. So basically, you know those bags that women usually use to travel across the border? So basically that's how this theme is tying in with the pieces themselves. So this is a migrant woman that is shown in there, and then you see a bathtub there and a chair and also some trees. So that there just shows it's just a symbol for the forest that these women live in when they move to Europe, because they obviously can't afford formal accommodation, and they have to find places where they live and operate from. And you see also that there are shackles at the bottom of the art piece right there. So those shackles represent bondage, because obviously you're moving to a foreign land and you think you're going to make the best you can out of yourself, but you obviously are still in bondage because you're now doing things that you ordinarily wouldn't do, but you need to survive. So moving on to the next piece, this is also with that same theme. These are now these migrant women, and of course here, as you can see, they're upside down with that same theme of those bags as migrant women. At the top there, they're masked, which is them in the trade. But this piece in particular is focusing on the female body as a commodity, because it doesn't have the respect that it has anymore in these lands, whereby when people see the African woman, they see a commodity, they see a person that can be used. And then moving on to this piece right here, I'm not sure if you're aware of the original piece that illustrated this. So basically this is backdating from the colonial era, when Rhodes himself wanted to take over from Cape to Cairo. So basically, this has now transformed, and as you see, this has those bags that are originating from China or Asia itself. So basically, it's the piece is communicating on how the Chinese market is taking over Africa slowly, but obviously it's not in an aggressive way, or in a way that would seemingly be obvious, as Cecil John Rhodes did. So that takes us to this piece right here called The Architect. So basically this piece is talking about Cecil John Rhodes himself being the architect of the borders that have been woven in Africa. Hence we have the sewing machine there, and then this detail here in pink and red, that's the border. In Africa, we have taken so much ownership of the borders that were drawn for us, and now he was the architect, but he didn't even put as much strength as we have even put ourselves. So basically that's what this piece is talking about. So this piece here is called Position of Power. So as you can see, these are two figures in one piece, and we still have that theme of those bags, which is representative of the migrant woman. So basically, I'm sure you're aware, in Africa, the woman is a very respectful person who would never sit in a position as she's sitting right here. So basically, this is the migrant woman who's now in a foreign land, but she now has this overseeing power that's still within what she believes is, someone that will give her the opportunity to be better. So this she still does, and she feels like she is powerful, but still there is still that barbed wire there representing the struggle that these women will still go through, even though they feel like they are empowered, but it's power that's basically in codes. As I said earlier, these pieces are basically focusing on migration, right, and the condition of being in a foreign land. As I mentioned earlier, that the blue, white, and red there represents the migrant person who would have migrated, because as soon as they cross the border, they're identified as a foreigner by the bags that they have. So basically on this piece, on this side of the piece where you see the fence, this is the Zimbabwean side of the border. And you'll see that there are the Zimbabwean colors here, the Zimbabwean flag's colors. And then as you cross the border, it becomes that color whereby it's those bags. And then you see barbed wire as well. That just represents the hardship that a foreigner goes through as well in a migrant land, because just because you've moved from a nation where you feel is not really serving you, it doesn't mean that it's also going to be rosy. So there are also so many hardships, hence there's the barbed wire. But as I said before, it's focusing on migration. So you see these lines here, those are zebra markings. So basically zebras, fish, and you'll see on the opposite side we have wildebeest as well. Those are all animals that migrate. But when you actually think about it, animals migrate freely because they're animals. And we have put these borders, we have put so many conditions, and we identify ourselves from these borders that were made for us in Africa. And yet we are still animals when you look at it, and animals do that freely. So hence we have the zebra markings on this piece right here. And then moving on to the next piece here, we have the same theme, but now it's just expressed with a few more beings in the piece, and then we have fish there as well, because fish, like koi fish, are popularly known as, one of the animals that migrate quite a lot. And then moving on to the last piece in this section here, Ronald here is expressing that the opposite of what is going on there, that move back home. So basically this is the call from home from, that eagle there, that is the Zimbabwean bird, and that transition from being identified to as a foreigner and moving back to being identified to as, as Zimbabwean or wherever, country or place of origin the person will be coming from.
We have so much more for you just after the break, so stay with us. We all know Belgians take their beer drinking very seriously. It has been added to UNESCO's Cultural Heritage List. So next time you raise a glass of Belgian beer, rest assured it's a cultural experience.
From brown ales to golden pilsners to the strong Trappist brews produced in monasteries, Belgian beer is enjoyed around the world. Now Belgium is asking the United Nations Heritage Body to add its beer making and drinking culture to a list of traditions worth protecting, saying that brewing fosters a unified identity in a country with 3 official languages. The country is home to nearly 200 breweries, making 1,500 different beers, according to the trade association Belgian Brewers, which prepared Belgium's application. National dishes also include beer, and the country has some 30 brewing museums.
I think what is special to the Belgian beer culture is the combination of variety, innovation and tradition. We have more than 3,000 beers in Belgium, more than 200 breweries, and also these breweries have created around them a beer culture. We have our pubs, we have our museums, we have feasts, we have the ritual of how to serve a beer.
Submitted by Belgium's German-speaking region to UNESCO, the application says beer brewing improves the well-being of Belgian people by stimulating the economy, promoting local products and strengthening social ties.
Je crois que c'est une belle reconnaissance pour notre pays. Je crois que c'est quelque chose qui vit dans notre culture et dans l'histoire de notre pays depuis toujours. Je crois que chaque Belge sait que la bière belge est reconnue partout dans le monde. Quand on voyage à travers le monde, c'est la première chose souvent qu'on évoque, c'est le chocolat et la bière belge. Et je crois que c'est une belle reconnaissance parce que je crois qu'il y a un vrai savoir-faire dans notre pays et je crois que c'est important que ce savoir-faire soit reconnu et préservé pendant encore de longues périodes parce qu'il est déjà depuis très longtemps.
La bière belge fait partie de la culture belge. Vous voyez, ce soir, il est 18h et 18h30 et le bar est plein à craquer et tout le monde boit une bière. On se fait plaisir pour se détendre, etc. Et je pense que vraiment se retrouver autour d'une bière comme ça dans un café belge, ça fait partie de cette culture.
Founded in the 14th century, the Guild is one of the oldest professional associations in the world, and almost all Belgian brewers belong to it. It aims at defending the general interests of the brewery sector in the economic, social and ethnical spheres.
Ik denk dat het bijdraagt aan de cultuur van België. Ik heb zelf ook in de horeca gewerkt en ik heb een aantal brouwerijen bezocht. En ja, ik vind het echt gewoon super. Ik vind het heerlijk om alle soorten bier te proberen. En wat ik vooral goed vind is de oude wijze door de monniken waarop het nog wordt gebrouwen. Ja, vind ik echt super. Ja.
Foreigners have also shown appreciation for Belgium's beer-making expertise. The UN created its list of intangible cultural heritage in 2008 for traditional events, rituals and social practices. To be considered, the tradition should be passed down through generations and give those involved a sense of identity. UNESCO's Intangible Heritage Committee meets in Addis Ababa and will determine whether Belgian beer culture and 36 other practices such as Indian yoga and Czech and Slovak puppetry should enter its list.
It's amazing to see kind of the traditional ways that they're still making their beers and that, people are still enjoying it today. And I think it's very important to kind of be able to put an internationally recognized stamp on this process and this wonderful, beverage that's really unique to this country. So I think it's fantastic.
It would join the likes of Spain's flamenco, China's Dragon Boat Festival and last year's entrance from Arabic coffee to bagpipe culture in Slovakia. Belgian beer has a good chance after an advisory body recommended its inclusion. Belgium already has 12 items on the list, including horse-drawn shrimp fishing and the carnival in the town of Aslat. Inclusion on the list confers on the state an obligation to safeguard the tradition. In some cases, states can apply for financial help to do so. The ArtX event held in Lagos showed work from 65 African artists and proved Nigeria's contemporary art scene is more vibrant than it has ever been. The three-day affair showcased seasoned as well as up-and-coming artists from Ghana to Senegal and Burkina Faso. There were also debates on the future of African art and where business is headed.
I think when we first started, we did put some statistics up and we closely look at the price and put it, I have to say, a big.
For me, the goal in doing this was to inspire and to inspire our different audiences. If I start, first of all, with the artists, the professional artists of today, so many of whom complain that they're not really being collected or they don't work so easily with galleries, is to inspire them to continue to do what they do. For younger artists, is to inspire them to know what the future could be like, how the future could look if they would only persevere and continue to strive for excellence in all that they do.
Live performances with artists creating pieces as guests walked around was one of the highlights. Some visitors were even invited to participate. Elements of pop culture were also a key theme at the event. Installations were accompanied by hip-hop and jazz music sets as young artists painted graffiti murals. Organizers said the idea was to bridge different forms of art. Contemporary art in Nigeria dates back to the 1950s, but top artists, even stylistically modern ones, are often influenced by sacred traditions. Before European colonialists showed up, the many kingdoms and chieftaincies that now make up Nigeria had a proud tradition of art, such as wood or stone sculpture and tie and dye fabrics. Like most art, it was rooted in religion, so when the pious 19th century British dismissed local carvings of gods and deities as idolatrous savagery, it nearly killed Nigeria's art scene. They destroyed hundreds of works, others they carted off to museums. Now critics say there is an urgency in the way art is growing in Nigeria and taking its place internationally.
Contemporary art producers in Nigeria have a challenge of trying to figure out
what is important about our society, our culture, our way of life, and how they embed that and enshrine that around objects that they create. You know, whether that object be a painting, whether that object be a photograph, whether it be a piece of sculpture, or it's an animation, or it's a piece of video art. I think that is the largest challenge for contemporary artists.
Africa is still widely viewed in art circles more as a source of fine art for auctions in the developed world rather than a market in itself. Events like ArtX show that may be changing. A growing number of Nigerian art lovers are hooked to the vibrant scene in the country, and the wealthy ones are adding local pieces to their personal collections. ArtX organizers said they have welcomed over 5,000 visitors during the 3 days of the events.
Seeing the different works that can come out of the country, things that we can showcase to the world, budding talents, the diversity, the culture, and present in a very good light, you know. So I'm definitely very impressed with something like this.
Organizers hailed this as the first international art fair for West Africa. They hope it will be followed by more regular similar events.
Unfortunately, that's all we have for you today. Join us again next week, same time, same place. From us, goodbye and happy holidays.